It is a beautiful night tonight here in the Illinois State Capitol, Springfield, and we are at Robin Roberts Stadium. Welcome to another night of the WPBL baseball with the Boston Hunters taking on the Los Angeles Queens. I'm Lauren Fox, and I'll be joined tonight by Jenna Becerra for tonight's game. And Jenna, Boston dropped the first two to L.A. in somewhat dramatic fashion, 25-7 in those two games. But Sunday, Boston came back with a big win, 7-3. And tonight they have a chance to even up the series against the Queens.
An absolutely clutch fifth inning for the Hunters, and it started with two-run home runs. First, Takara Hendelace touched them all with her second long ball of the season. The righty went down and got it to lift it out of the stadium. She leads the team in multiple categories. Two batters later, the lefty Lexi Hastings went deep for the first time this season. Her bat had been heating up as of late, and that four-run inning made the difference for the Hunters to get their first win in the series.
Now, keep in mind, though, the Hunters are obviously a team that has put up some runs lately. Takara Hendelace is getting hot, as you mentioned. Denver Bryant, one who's also getting hot. Lexi Hastings with that big bomb. But the Queens have been doing it with the lumber as well. Jamie Mackay leading the way with 5 home runs for the Queens. Ashton Lansdell with 3 others with 1 apiece. So you have an offense here for the Queens that has been high-powered to this point in the season. The bats were slumbering a little bit on Sunday night, but you really could safely expect that the Queens are going to put up some runs in tonight's ballgame.
No breaks, 1 through 9, 5 different hitters leaving the yard. It is not easy for opposing pitchers, but on their side, starting on the bump today, one of the most efficient arms we've seen with Michelle Roche. She's going to be a team-leading 5th start tonight, plus in the top 3 in the WPBL in innings pitched. She threw against the Hunters the first 2 meetings, earning the win both times. She works really quickly in between pitches and her rhythm, and it helps keep hitters off balance.
And it's something that's challenging, though, in a league like this where the teams see each other a fair amount. We've played 10 games to this point. These two teams have played each other 3 times. Tonight is the 4th. They've seen Michelle Roche twice. This is the 3rd time. So it's going to be up to the LA Queens to try to figure out how to keep those Hunters hitters off balance.
Like anything else, it is a game of adjustments. We've seen that all season long, and we're going to continue here in the home stretch of the regular season.
So with that in mind, we have a great one coming up for you tonight. The Boston Hunters taking on the LA Queens. We'll go down to the field next for first pitch.
At third base, number 2, Denver Bryant.
Welcome back, all you amazing WPBL fans. We're set for another great game between the Hunters and the Queens. I'm AJ Andrews. I'm joined by assistant coach for the Hunters, Tack Wilson. Tack, you got on a plane, flew 14 hours from Taiwan, where you were managing, to come coach for the Hunters. What made you want to be here today, and what got you excited about being here at the WPBL?
Well, you know, it was an opportunity to come out here and experience history. I've never really coached women before, and I just thought it would be a lot of fun, and my thought so far has been correct.
There's nothing more fun than the WPBL. Tag, you told me that your coaching style is a lot of focus on fundamentals. What have you been working on with the Hunters fundamentally so far?
Well, basically, I've spent a little time with the outfielders, and basically just teaching them about reading the ball off the bat and taking the correct angle. That, and then I've spent a little time with the hitters and just trying to slow them down a little bit. Everything is going so fast. You got to slow it down so that you can make a good decision and put a good swing on the ball after you select a good pitch.
Love it. When the Hunters have coined the term, the Hunters are going hunting. What are the Hunters doing right when they are hunting the way they need to be?
They're selecting good pitches to hit. They're hitting the ball hard. They're getting on base. They're putting pressure not only on the pitcher, but on the defense. And they're creating mistakes and scoring runs.
Okay, is there some Mandarin you can leave us with all your time in Taiwan?
Ni hao.
That means no, right?
Ni hao means hello.
Well, hello. Hello to you, Tag. Thank you for being here at the WPBL. Excited to continue to watch your tenure with the Hunters.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Tag is excited to be here. I'm excited to be here. And we're excited to see more WPBL Hunters and the Queens coming up next after the break.
All right.
Am I bringing it back? And welcome back to Robin Roberts Stadium in Springfield, Illinois, where tonight the Boston Hunters will take on the Los Angeles Queens. I'm Lauren Fox alongside Jenna Becerra. We're excited for a little bit of baseball here on a beautiful night in Springfield, Jenna.
It is perfect here in Springfield, Illinois, a great place for the WPBL to have its inaugural season, and it's great to see Jamal Weeks with his squad coming off of the win that they had to end last week.
I talked to Jamal Weeks for about 5 minutes earlier this afternoon, and I could have probably talked to Jamal for about 5 hours. But his starting lineup, the 9 that he has penciled in, is presented tonight by Horace Mann. Some challenges with the lineup in terms of getting all of these bats into the lineup, with Lexi Hastings coming back to the team, wanting to get her in. So Gabby Haas, who I think is one of the best defenders in the league through the first 2/3 of the season, I said to Gabby earlier today, you're DHing. That's kind of a unique place for you to be. And she said, well, want to get Lexi into the lineup. And then Lexi in left means Takara Heldenace, who's been in left field most of the season for the Hunters, is moving over to center.
When you look at Pattison in the 2 spot, Bryant in the 3 spot, they're both tied for a team high in hits. They're back-to-back right there. They're really trying to get something going there at the top of the order.
And they'll go up against a very tough one for the Queens and Michelle Roche. Roche, to this point, 17 2/3 innings, struck out 6, has walked 6. But Jenna, where she has really done well is inducing contact early in at-bats, not getting deep into counts, sawing hitters off. And this tonight, though, we mentioned in the open, is the 3rd time that she is going to see this Boston Hunters lineup. So it's going to be a challenge for her and Maggie Fox to figure out how to set these hitters down when they're seeing a familiar face 60 and a half feet away from them.
And she's known for exceptional efficiency. She has a quick rhythm in between pitches. She's also got a lot of innings under her belt this season already. She's only behind Ayami Sato in innings pitched for this pitching staff. And she's a young gun out of Canada. She brings that energy on the mound as well, and that's the tone that the Queens are looking to set defensively.
She's got a good vibe out there on the hill. We mentioned her batter mate earlier, but the defense, Sarah Edwards at first base, Sam Benitez at second, Caitlin Einen at third, the shortstop, a recent addition, Yuri Shimano, and an outfield of Bella Villarreal in left, Diana Ibarra in center, and Ashton Lansdell getting the start over in right field. And we talked about it earlier today. We were impressed with the arm of Einon, and Eric Young clearly impressed with the same. He's got her at third base making those long throws. But Shimano, of course, did an excellent job at shortstop and even did a great job on the mound on Sunday against this Boston Hunters team.
So many options.
It's little puzzle pieces. That first pitch misses down low, and we are underway. Baseball here on a Wednesday night, a beautiful Wednesday night. As we get near the end of summer, fouled off on the right side, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Now, I know a lot of our listeners had become very accustomed to Jenna and AJ going back and forth, and don't you fret. AJ is going to be with us in the booth in spirit. Her mic will be on as Gabby Haas hits one to short. Shimano up with it, double clutches over to first, and in time to get Haas for out number 1 here in the top of the first.
That's exactly what you're looking to do if you're Michelle Roche. You let your defense work, roll something up. Nothing too complicated. That's the efficiency that we were talking about right there in action.
And at home, I hear the walk-up music a little bit more than you do in here in the booth. Molly Pattison up to bat. Tall lefty batter, tall drink of water, as they used to say. Comes up to long, cool woman in a black dress. And I don't know if she picked it, but man, whoever picked it, right on the money. First pitch misses outside, second one up and away, and the count now 2-0 on Molly. Molly, you mentioned earlier, one of the top hitters on this Hunters team, 273 coming in, has driven in just 1 run, and the fastball from Roche down and in, and the count 3-0 on Molly Pattison.
She's been the consistency that they've needed, and she's been in different slots towards the top of the order so far this year for the Hunters, but that consistency is exactly what they're looking for at this point in the season.
Fastball taken for a strike. She was taken all the way, the count 3-1. And some of these players, of course, we knew coming in. We had seen them in the World Cup or other venues. Molly Pattison is one as that pitch nicks the outside corner for a strike, and the count runs full on Pattison. But she is a new face to me, and very impressed with how she is able to handle the bat. She saw 6 pitches in that, I bet, before she coaxed the walkout, which gives Denver Bryant, who's coming up now, a really good book on the pitcher.
Yeah, and Pattison had a great World Cup outing herself. I mean, 6 for 12, double, a triple, a home run for Team Australia. But sometimes a walk's as good as a hit when it comes to getting on base.
Does the job, and it sets things up for Denver Bryant. Denver has been hot. First pitch coming in, taken for a ball low, count 1-0. I know as we look at Denver's stats, batting .310, tied for the team lead in hits. I know the internet loves Denver. But if you ever get the opportunity to speak to Denver, as that one misses down low, the count 2-0 now, and Roche has fallen behind the last 2 batters. 2 balls, no strikes. If you ever get to talk to Denver in person, she's even better in person than she is on the ball field. Good energy, good vibes. The 2-0 buzzes her tower. Count now 3-0 on her, and Roche is going to have to battle back, settle down a bit.
Yeah, that Denver disposition isn't just for how she plays on the field. It's fully her personality on and off. Fun, energetic, and a lot of energy.
I was waiting for that, AJ. Thank you.
Love it. Dynamite drop in. Pitch taken high for ball 4, and back-to-back walks. And now Takara Heldenasel stride to bat. This is another good walk-up. Big and rich, save a horse, ride a cowboy. Proof that there is country music down in Australia.
Oh, and she was the first one to leave the yard for the Hunters this season, but then she did it again last time out, and then they actually tripled their home run total as a team when Lexi Hastings did it too. So this is the part of the order you want up right now.
And first pitch strike there coming from Michelle Roche. Count no balls and 1 strike, and that's the answer. You got to get ahead. Takara walks quite a fair bit, gets on base without swinging the bat. Talking not just walks, she wears it a decent amount, gets hit by pitch. the 0-1, taken upstairs 1-1. Talking to Takara earlier tonight about the structure of baseball in her state, New South Wales. Care to take a guess on how many women's teams there are in New South Wales?
I'd be pulling it out of my hat. I don't know.
Pitch misses inside, 2-1, 25.
Wow.
So there's structure in Australia where you play through a season. Then at the end of the season, they select a state all-star team, and then they play for a championship. We don't have that here stateside. And you look at what that can do as that one's looped into left field, rounding third, coming home. There's going to be a play at the plate. The tag on Pattison, not in time, and the throw to the plate allows the runners each to move up an additional 90 feet. So Heldenace's single drives in a run. Pattison comes in to score from second, and Bryant heads all the way to third, and now one out.
Just a nice job. Gets slightly jammed on this pitch, but gets enough barrel through the zone for long enough to put it into the outfield and give enough time for her teammate to come around and score. So yes, she can leave the yard, but she can get those RBI singles too.
It's a clutch hit. She just muscled it out in the left field. And Takara, when I talked to her about the opportunity she has to play baseball, there are many. She plays a regular amount when she's home, but after playing with women from all around the world, she wants to really just travel and play with her friends and have her friends come and play with her. Truly amazing. That one hit hard off the second baseman Benitez. It's going to be into shallow center. Into score, Bryant. Also hot on her tail is Heldenace. 2-run score on that single by Padgham, and that'll make it 3-0 in favor of the Hunters. They draw first blood, and the Queens are going to have an uphill climb here in the early going.
Hunters had trouble scoring early against the Queens. She goes down to get that pitch. That dropped slightly out of the zone even. Hit hard. She had to field that perfectly to even have a chance. And as it ricochets into the outfield, that's enough time. Heldenace, got to give her credit for the base running on that one as well to wheel around third.
She knew what she was doing, but of course our pregame guest, or AJ's guest, Tack Wilson, had everything in full view and knew that there was no way that a throw was going to be coming. So it is not Tack's first rodeo. He's been coaching for 8 years, or managing for 8 years, I should say, in Taiwan. And now Michelle Roche will try to get out of this inning and limit the damage. She had a tough one to go after Lexi Hastings coming in, 286, a homer, 4 driven in. And Roche steps off, looks to third base. They think perhaps that someone missed it. And I think the call is that is not the case. So worth trying. 3 runs for the Hunters on a pair of hits and a pair of walks here in the top of the first. Roche fastball cut on and missed by Hastings.
Yeah, you always got to cover your bases, literally, apparently,
yes,
and figuratively.
Rain Padgham, a conservative lead over there at first, darts back after the throw comes in from Roche. We didn't really get a chance to welcome Padgham in. She was cutting early in that at bat.
She was ready to go. I respect it. Love the aggressiveness.
And 8 up Sam Benitez out there at second. Bunt squared away at Hastings. And nothing doing. Now she's in a hole, 0-2.
Jenna, you talked about the aggressiveness of the Hunters. I talked with Takara Heldenace earlier, and she said they really feel like they have a new sense of confidence. They prove to themselves what they can do. They can beat a team outside of the heights. And so that's where you're going to see the aggressiveness coming early from this team and outlasting throughout the game.
It's a great point because their first 3 wins were all against the New York Heights, but then this last one against the Queens, you get that chip off your shoulder a little bit. Okay, we can beat some of these other teams in this league, and it makes you play a lot looser.
It's interesting, too, and we'll look at the standings or discuss those more as we go. A lot can change. Pitch taken high, throw down to second base, not in time. Throw looked to be pretty much on the money, but there was a little bit of confusion between short and second as to whose cover it was. And you got to make that throw if you're the catcher in that situation. So you get up, you pop up, try to get it. But it looked like Shimano was a little bit late breaking, and Hastings, being a left-handed batter, might have just thrown things off a bit for the Queens. Stolen base there for Padgham. That one hit high in the air to right. Lansdell will fade back a little bit. Got room and catches it at the wall, tagging up, heading over to third, and getting in there standing is Padgham. So now 2 down here in the top of the first. Hastings almost got another one, but stayed in the yard. That wind blowing out ever so slightly to right.
Yeah, I think Lansdell did a pretty nice job of going back with it. She found her space first. So she got out there, felt the wall behind her, and then went to make the play versus floating over there and then trying to have to guess at the end. It was a nice job, and I'm sure AJ, the Gold Glover, appreciated it.
Yeah, that's textbook outfield. Find it first. Find it, then make your play.
Particularly here where there's no warning track, AJ, that makes things a little bit more difficult for those outfielders.
Exactly. The key to that is just kind of doing a little peek. You tilt your head a little bit, just trying to see out of your peripherals where the fence is to get a good idea of what the distance you have, and then find the fence, come back to make the play. You always want to dart back first, then up, rather than stay up and then get beat back.
Well, and as we get a look at Ashton, you can see the sun glinting off her sunglasses. She had the sun to deal with, but she also had the fence to deal with. So big league play out there made by Ashton Lansdell. Count 2-1 now on Edith DeLeja. Comes in 250, has driven in 4 runs so far. The Queens trying to limit the damage. They've given up 3 here. That one-on-one hop to Benitez at second, and she'll jog it over to first to Edwards in time for the 3rd out here in the top of the 1st. But the Hunters draw first blood. They score 3 runs on a pair of hits. It is the Hunters 3 and the Queens coming up. Welcome back to Robin Roberts Stadium. The Boston Hunters put up 3 in their half of the 1st inning. Denver Bryant crossing the plate for the Hunters, and Denver and her defense will have a number to do on this LA Queens batting order. It's going to be a tough challenge, and it's a different order than we've seen to this point in the season. But leading things off will be Sam Benitez. She'll be followed by Ashton Lansdell and Jamie Mackay. 8 home runs between the both of them, and the rest of the lineup, of course, accounting for 3 additional home runs. 5 of the 9 have hit one out this season, Jenna.
They have, and it just 1 through 9, and that's the lineup presented by Horace Mann, by the way. Shimano is off to a good start as well, hitting 600 early on with a small sample size, so she's one to keep an eye on as well.
Benitez skies it to right. If it stays fair, it's going to be trouble. It gets in just inside the line. Benitez will take a turn and hold up there as Molly Pattison gets it into the infield. She's got a strong arm out there in the outfield, so Benitez making the right move, holding on at first base with a leadoff single. Now, Gigi Schiano is a tough draw for this Queens team. Gigi has been a very pleasant surprise. 19 innings, mostly out of the bullpen. I think if all out of the bullpen, if I'm not mistaken.
Almost.
Okay,
her 7th appearance today. 5 of them have been in relief. This is just her 2nd start of the season. She does lead the league with those 19 innings pitched too, and she's top 5 in ERA with under 3. So I think it's an interesting choice for the manager, Jamal Weeks, to put her out there to start.
Some like to start and some like to relieve. We'll see what Gigi likes tonight. So she has been a very pleasant surprise for Jamal in his rotation, and a very reliable arm coming out of the bullpen. She sets and gets Ashton Lansdell right in the small of the back It's not a good place to hit. A little bit lower, not quite as bad. Right there, it's smart. It's not a whole lot of padding there. So Ashton wears it. She'll jog down to first, and the Queens have runners on first and second, nobody out. The defense for this Boston Hunters team, Allie Schroeder at first, Edith DeLea at second, Denver Bryant, we've mentioned her multiple times, a shining star at third, Rain Padgham, electric at short, and an outfield, Lexi Hastings in left, Takara Heldenace in center, Molly Patterson with that strong arm around and right. And of course, the battery mate for Schiano is Hiona Kim. So those two have worked together quite a bit this season as well.
And you mentioned earlier how Heldenace has really more so been in left field this season, but moves over to center field, so she's commanding the outfield tonight. And there might be some activity out there, just knowing how much firepower this Queens lineup has.
Mackay rolls over left side, short onto second. They'll just get one, as Padgham had to field it going to her right. Made it a little bit tougher to play. They get the fielder's choice, and now runners at the corners for the Queens with one out here in the bottom of the first.
Getting the lead runner. Could have been a double play ball, but right here, slightly inside. So trying to make sure that she held on to that, DeLea was, and getting that out at second, keeping your foot on the bag. Get one, get the sure thing before you move too fast to the next thing.
It would have been a tall order, but we've seen some really good double plays turn to this point in the season, that's for certain. Schiano's pitch down low. Hiona Kim saves it, sends it back the other direction, and now it'll be Yuri Shimano. A new face on this Queens team. Throw over to first. Jamie Mackay will dive back into the bag as Benitez will scamper off of third in case that throw gets past the first baseman, Schroeder. Shimano swinging through an off-speed pitch. And now the count 1-1 on her. I don't think that's quite what she was looking for there.
Maybe compact, swing a little bit more, slow it down. Something Tag Wilson talked about in a general sense, slow the game down.
It is one of those things that's easy to say and harder to do, particularly playing in front of a decent-sized audience. As Shimano washes that one down and away, 2-1. The logical lead-in, if the team is called the Hunters, is you're hunting fastballs, which is generally a good approach anyway. Shimano fooled by an off-speed pitch and ticks it off behind the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes on the LA shortstop. Boston put up 3 in their half of the first. The big blow, a bloop single to left by Takara Heldenace. That gave them their 3, and that one cut on and missed by Shimano. And heading down to second is Jamie Mackay as the ball pops out of Kim's glove. Guessing that one's going to be a passed ball on Kim, and down on strikes goes Shimano, and that makes this at-bat from Caitlin Einon even more important. A base hit, possibly score 2, make this one a one-run ball game.
Heads up base running there, Mackay to read that ball. Not just 1, but 2 in scoring position now.
First pitch, outside corner. Einon watches the strike go by, counting on 0-1 on her. And Mackay, one who has significant experience between the lines, baseball, softball, both. That one hit hard by Einon, left side. Padgham deep into the hole, long throw to first is not going to be in time. It gets away from the first baseman Schroeder as Einon collides with her. In to score is Mackay all the way from second. 2 runs come across. Einon gets up gingerly, and Schroeder is going to get up slowly and kind of shake herself for cobwebs, but the throw from Padgham came in. Schroeder had to come into the runner to get it. Einon's entitled to that baseline. Jenna, that's a real tough play for Padgham. It's maybe an even tougher one for Schroeder.
It looked like it was going to come in on the short hop, so instead of going after it to smother it, she played it back to try to get it on the high hop right there. So then she goes into the baseline. Einon didn't really have a ton of space to work with there. So unfortunately, the collision there, so you just hope both are doing okay.
Now, what's the best way to deal with a throw like that if you're playing first base? It's the short hop is insanely tough. What's the best move?
Short hop's tough, but I think you have to go and attack it. And you know, when I was playing first base in college, that was really what we were taught to do, is go out and get it rather than letting it come back up and play you. Schroeder's thinking though in that situation, I don't want this ball to get by me, because if it gets by you, then of course runners can advance, etc. But you do have to go out and smother it sometimes. but a little tough when you got the sun at play, too. You can see over there at first base.
A lot of factors at play for her there. She's thinking about a variety of things. The catcher's not there to back her up because the catcher's thinking about a play at the plate, can't vacate that spot. How quickly can Molly Pattison get it? So there are a lot of things for her to quickly triangulate as to whether she should block it. AJ, you saw it front and center. What'd you see?
Yeah, to me it looked like Allie Schroeder was just trying to back up to catch it on the hop, as Jenna said, and Einon just didn't have a choice. You had to keep running through the bag, trying to make it save, want to make sure she can get on base so that her teammates can score. And so in that instance, there was nowhere for her to go, nowhere for her to move, and they both just ran into each other. But both trying to make the play, both trying to get to the base in time, and it just resulted in a collision. It was a pretty big one, too. I'm glad they're both okay because that one could have ended up definitely a lot worse than what we're seeing right now.
Right, I'm happy to see Allie Schroeder get up and be okay. And of course, happy to see Caitlin up and well too. And now that'll bring up Sarah Edwards in the lineup today playing first base for these Queens. Sarah comes in .333, a home run, 9 runs batted in. 4 of those came on a big blow against the one and only Allie Schroeder that we were just referring to. The question is, which one is worse if you're Allie, the collision at first base or giving up a grand slam? I don't think she'd particularly love either of them.
Well, you're part of history with the Grand Slam, but not on the side that you'd like to be on,
No.
the first ever in the WPBL.
But you still can say you made history. So
True.
I don't know.
Exactly. Edwards fouls it off left side as we get an opportunity to watch Sarah hit that one high and deep to right. Just turn on the ball, watch it fly over the right field fence. And that game several weeks ago gave the Queens a 4-0 lead. And in a game, a lead that they would never relinquish as Skiana throws over to first base to try to keep Caitlin Einon honest. 2 balls, 1 strike on Sarah Edwards. Off-speed pitch, misses a little bit high in the count, now 3-1 on Sarah. Sarah comes in with a little bit of international flair. She recently played in Italy. She's an American citizen, but is fluent in Italian, conversational in Spanish. As Edwards draws a 5-pitch walk, and now with runners on first and second and 2 outs, Maggie Fox will come up to try to get the Queens another run, possibly even things up.
Well, as somebody who's seen Maggie Fox play throughout her life, thrown her BP, coached her in high school, and also happens to be her dad. I mean, you know her swing better than anyone.
Yes, we were working on some stuff today in the cage. First pitch misses low, 1 ball, no strikes to Maggie. Had the chance to work a little bit with Britt Apgar today as well. And Britt, if you have not watched her or listened to her interview, the Baseball Isn't Boring interview, go back and find that. It is an utter masterclass in how to be interviewed. Britt is wonderful at that. That one misses in, 2-0 now on Maggie. But working with some stuff on Britt, and man, to have that opportunity, nothing short of wonderful. And of course, because Maggie is here, I got the opportunity to make an extra trip to Springfield, which I can't tell you how wonderful it is to be sitting next to you, to be talking shop with AJ before the game with our crew in the truck. It's just a first-class operation. So I'm so happy to be here on a lovely summer night as this count runs to 3-0 on Maggie Fox. And she looks at one over the inside corner, might have been on the river. 3-1 now on Maggie with 2 down here in the bottom of the first inning.
Well, you know, we love getting foxy. Maggie was also up in the booth, too, and it was a foxy time.
Wasn't that fun? The 3-1 misses high for ball 4, and she'll trot down to first base. I guess that's a fox trot, if you would call it. I'll be here all night. I'm sorry for that.
That's what we'll call it when she hits her first dinger.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Yeah, hopefully that'll be the night. And that'll bring up opening night's hero, Bella Villarreal. Had a lot of fun talking to Bella before the game, too. That pitch misses inside, or down low, I should say, ball 1 on Bella. Bella, a Michigan native, going to school at Eastern Michigan in Ypsilanti. Rolls that one on the left side, foul. 1-1 now on Bella. But she is studying exercise science, but decided that she was going to take the semester off because YOLO.
YOLO in the WPBL.
YOLO in the WPBL. Yep.
Still the motto.
I'm here for it. Like, how often can you say that you played professional baseball, if only, and oh yeah, by the way, in your debut, won a game for your team, and you were the player of the game, and you got interviewed by A.J. Andrews, all in one night? Like, for real. Deuce is wild here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The bag's full. Count is full now as that pitch misses high, and all the lights are lit. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here, all you got to do is make sure the pitcher is going to the plate, and then it's off to the races. See what Villarreal can do. Sciano gets the sign from Kim. Payoff pitch coming. That one skied down the left field line. Our ball boy, or actually a ball person, that's actually MK. Van Doren is down the left field line. Baseball for all ball player, MK from Upstate Girls Baseball. Had the chance to talk to her parents, Sarah and Richard, before the game, who are so happy to be here as well. Took the trip down from upstate New York, and Bella watches that one go by. Ball 4, and she will walk with the bases loaded, bring home a run, and knot things up at 3 apiece, and bring up the number 9 batter, Diana Ibarra, trying to break this tie here in the bottom of the first.
And that's 3 walks in a row. It's one thing with a couple of singles that have been allowed. You know, Einon had the clutch 2 RBI single just a little bit ago, but the freebies can come back to bite you. So this timing definitely makes sense for Jamal Weeks to come out and chat with Gigi Sciano.
And if I know one thing about Jamal, he's out there keeping it loose, making it fun. What we have seen from Gigi to this point in the season, I don't remember what the graphic was. I think she'd only walked 6 in 19 innings of work leading up to this. So 3 here in 2/3 of an inning is uncharacteristic, to say the least. She's been pounding the zone throughout the season. That's been her stock and trade. And for her today to come out like this, there could be many reasons, but it also could be that sometimes I know that when I was pitching, I loved not knowing if I was going to pitch. I loved not having to have a pregame routine, and just all of a sudden they'd say, hey, we got to have you. The pregame routine of starting kind of messed with my head. It was the, oh, you may pitch, you may not. I didn't really overthink myself. So it sometimes things can change for pitchers, and you might be truly a reliever, and that might be your comfort zone.
And that's something that the managers are figuring out along with the players. You know, we've seen some shifts with that and different staffs in this league. You know, Jada Lee, for example, for the New York Heights, started off more so as a starter, and then she's really evolved into that reliever role, and she's been absolutely killing it.
Oof. I'll tell you, watching Jada do that has been a joy. And the fact that as Diana gets hit by a pitch, that'll bring another run home. So the first one came by way of a walk. The second one came by way of a hit batter. And now 4-3 in favor of the Queens, and no action yet in the Hunters bullpen. But for those who had seen Jada on a world setting, whether in the World Cup, whether in tournaments in Virginia or Florida, you know that she can pitch and you know what she can do. Everybody's finally getting the opportunity to see what we knew, the arm, and Jada is electric out there on the mound, utterly amazing. So with that said, it's now 4-3 in favor of the Queens. The leadoff batter, Sammy Benitez, will head to bat and takes a look at a strike over the inside corner, 1-1.
And I think you could say that too, Lauren, about this league in general. You know, more and more people are finally getting to see what in the women's baseball community a lot of us already knew and loved, with the talent and the stars that are on all of these rosters. And now here they are making the history that they are 70 years after the last women's pro league existed here in the U.S.
Benitez drives that one in the air to right. Pattison looked like she lost it for a second, but settled underneath it, battled with the sun, and was able to make the play. But the Queens answer back with a 4 spot. We're through 1. LA 4, Boston 3.
WPBL fans, get your official Women's Pro Baseball League gear. You can choose from your favorite teams and players. All you have to do is go to shop.womensprobaseballleague.com. There are so many good ones over there. It's been flying off the shelves here at Robin Roberts Stadium. I'm still trying to get mine, so get yours while you can.
I was going to say, I generally go down there and there's no line, but I'm walking around, I'm doing something else. I forget to go back, and I walk back and there's a line like, can a guy get a WPBL shirt, please?
Exactly, especially when we have someone like you, Lauren Fox in the house with us, the father of Maggie Fox on the Queens, but also official scorer for the Red Sox, for the Dodgers.
Indeed. I sat back and I thought about, as that pitch from Roche is taken for a strike, 0-1. I sat and I thought about the amount of baseball that I've been in person and witnessed this year, and it's absolutely criminal. Schroeder swings through, count of 0-2 as Schroeder faces her Canadian national team teammate in Michelle Roche out there on the bump. And I know, Jenna, I've heard you and AJ talk about Michelle and Maggie working together, and they've known each other for about 7 years, which is utterly mind-blowing when you think about the relationships that these women have had since they were teenage girls, and all because of this game that brought them together. And it's the amount of jealousy I have when I was down the line and talking to Takara Heldenace and saying, hey, so can Maggie go play with you? Can I send her down? And she says, absolutely, come, tell her to come. And I said, can I go? Can I tag along? And absolutely, you can come to. Oh, this is the most amazing thing. Like, we know people in Australia and Canada. Schroeder loops that one. It's going to fall in right field. She'll take it. Allie Schroeder with her first hit in the WPBL. Doesn't matter. It looks like a line drive in the box score. So Allie on the board, her first base knock with nobody out here in the top of the second.
And that's off the plate a little bit outside, but she gets enough of it to push it into the outfield. And like you said, it's going to fall in. You'll take it all day long. That's why they call it a batting average. She'll hit a screamer right at someone else and another at bat, and it all evens out.
That's how this game works. Although in a 15-game season, that can be a bit of a challenge. Pitch gets Hyona Kim, and she will head on down to first base, hit by a pitch, and that'll flip the order over for Gabby Haas.
Kim's been a bit of a ball magnet this season. She came in, tied for third in the league and hit by pitch. That's now her fourth so far this season. But any way to get on base, you'll take it.
Particularly if you're hitting in that 9-hole, you have the opportunity to flip the order over, bring up Gabby Haas. Nothing wrong with that. Gabby, of course, we have talked about this, went to college to play softball, had played baseball for a large part of her upbringing, and decided in high school that she wanted to play softball in college, so changed her focus. That one's looped into center, coming in, picking it up on 2 hops. Ibarra, she'll throw home, cut off there by Sarah Edwards in the middle of the infield, but that single will load the bases with nobody out here in the top of the second.
Ibarra getting the start out in center field today. And a couple of just perfectly placed singles back to back here with Schroeder and then Haas. Enough to get out of the infield and then fall in.
And Roche is certainly not getting outmatched here. She's making good pitches. They're putting bat on the ball, and as you know, when you put the bat on the ball, good things can happen.
Things happen.
0-1 the count. Pitch taken away for ball 1. The Hunters put up 3 in the top of the first. The Queens answered with 4. And now the Hunters look like they're on the verge of answering again.
I think that's some of the confidence that AJ was talking about earlier on.
As Pattison just guides it into left field. Rounding third, coming in to score, standing up will be Kim on a 2-run single by Molly Pattison. And that will make it 5-4 in favor of the Boston Hunters. And it's not like, once again, Michelle Roche is getting outmatched. the Queens or the Hunters, I should say, are really just hitting it where it's pitched.
And she does so right there on the outer half over the white of the plate there, and Pattison just goes with it. Compact swing, throws the hands, and lets it travel deep enough. Doesn't try to do too much with it, knowing that she has the opportunity, and she took advantage.
Yeah, that's something manager Jamal Weeks was talking about. Their focus was to just slow things down and let the ball get deep in order just to go with it. Situational hitting has been a big factor for the Hunters as of late, and being able to execute with runners on base. And as of late, that's something that the Hunters have really been able to do well.
They have done it well here in the top of the second, have they, AJ? 3 base knocks so far.
Well, that's the direction you want to trend, right? It was a tougher start. They took a little bit of time to notch their first win here in the WPBL, but they're going up and to the right. That is the direction that you want to trend, especially heading into the postseason, which is already just a couple weeks away.
It's amazing to think that we're 2/3 of the way through the regular season. First pitch to Denver Bryant, taken for a ball down low, 1-0. Denver walked and scored back in the first. I say back in the first, that was not that long ago. Plenty of at-bats here today. The 1-0 taken inside 2-0. Denver talking before the game about how in high school in Georgia, where she went to high school, fastball misses in, 3-0 now on Denver. Softball was a fall sport. Baseball was a spring sport. Basketball was the winter sport, so she was able to do all three her first couple years of high school. And the fastball buzzes Denver's tower, and she'll head on down to first base on a 4-pitch walk as she motions at Michelle Roche. Roche gives it right back. These players are around each other so much that there is ample time for some good-natured kidding as well, but Roche, I don't know how much she's in the mood for that right now.
Yeah, Amira Han just told me she loves playing the Hunters because they have such great camaraderie between the two teams. To your point, it's not always so fun when you're on the mound and you are walking a couple batters, but when the game starts, they're excited to play each other. We'll see how it unfolds.
First pitch strike from Roche, and the second coming in the dirt. And now the count 1-1 on Heldenace.
It's one of the special things about the league all being in Springfield, Illinois this year.
Foul pop behind home plate, and a tough one for Maggie Fox heading back toward the warning track, unable to make the play. And that's about as difficult as they come for a catcher. You find it, and then you're running with your back to the plate. Always a challenging one. Couldn't make it. Now the count 1-2 on Heldenace.
And that one didn't hang in the air that long either. You know, she's trying to find it. She does. Gets rid of the mask. Has to cover quite a bit of ground before she can even get there. She didn't have a ton of time.
And cutting and missing is Takara Heldenace, going down on strikes for the first out here in the top of the second. A clutch strikeout by Michelle Roche, Jenna.
With bases loaded, there's nowhere to put her. So you jump ahead in the count and you attack the zone. Look at that movement. Heldenace has gone near her twice on a ball that was down in the zone. She likes to go down and get it, so getting her to chase and utilize that movement was key.
That late movement, too, is awful tough to track. It's tough to pick up that ball in the last 15 feet or so. The 1-0 to Padgham, fouled off on the right side, 1-1. 6-5, or check that, 5-4 in favor of the Hunters. I was told there would be no math, but there's been a lot of math here in the early going.
You're a stats guy, Lauren. Come on.
All I do is write things
Score.
down in color boxes. Pitch taken for a ball, 2-1 now on Rain Padgham. Padgham, 2-run single back in the first. Watches a fastball over the inside corner now. 2 balls and 2 strikes on the shortstop out of Canada. 2-2 comes. Looked like it missed down and away, and the count runs full now on Rain Padgham. Padgham came in under the Mendoza line, but she is just kind of waiting to get hot, and it's only a matter of time. Payoff pitch, cut on and missed. One Canadian national team member strikes out another, and Roche doing it the hard way here in the top of the second, Jenna.
When you want to be able to let your defense work, but sometimes getting those punch outs at the plate, that is exactly what can get you started back in the right direction to turn around the momentum.
First one, foul tipped. Fox hangs on to it. Count on 0-1 on Lexi Hastings. Hastings, a deep fly her first time up, sent Ashton Lansdell back to the wall. Now the 0-1, that one fouled off behind the plate, and she's in a hole here, 0-2.
And that's been the adjustment from Roche, getting ahead earlier in the count.
Makes all the difference. The 0-2 taken down low. Good waist pitch there, just trying to get her to chase. Now, you were a pitcher. Of course, the arsenal in baseball, vastly different than the arsenal you saw in softball. There's no rise ball here, as Maggie says. Here comes the 1-2. That one rolled on the right side. Benitez is up with it. Over to first to Edwards in time. And the Queens limit the damage. Boston gets 2. We're through an inning and a half. 5-4 Hunters. Back at Robert Roberts Stadium for the bottom of the second inning on an absolutely picturesque night here in Springfield. You see the sun setting over the left field tent that is the training tent for the team, where you go and you get your treatments. And of course, 10 games into the season, there's an ample need for treatment. A lot of players shuttling in and out of that treatment tent. It's hard work being a pro ball player.
It is, but so rewarding.
First pitch to Lansdell. 2 hops to Denver Bryant over there at third. Guns are out at first. And in the blink of an eye, Ashton thought she was safe. We don't know from up here, at least on first glance, but a nice stretch made by Allie Schroeder on that cannon of an arm from Denver Bryant. 5-3 if you're scoring at home.
Yeah, from down here, it was a very close play. Ashton Lansdell hustling down the first baseline. She stretched at the end, trying to get there in time. And it's a close call. Could have gone either way.
That one launched deep to left. Going back is Hastings, and she'll settle underneath it just shy of the wall. And very quickly, 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. And if you're watching a batter come up here in the person of a Yuri Shimano and you're EY, what's your direction to Shimano here after those 2 quick at-bats?
I think it's to slow down, right? That's exactly what Tack Wilson was talking about. I like aggressiveness. I know they appreciate that too. But seeing good pitches, putting a good swing on it, not being overly anxious there, being able to take that first pitch, for example.
Yeah, I think aggressiveness is good, but knowing that Schiano has walked a few batters, picking your pitch.
As Shimano laces that one at her right center, she'll take the single. And that'll bring up Caitlin Einon. And also, AJ, you want to be looking for your pitch, but it's vital to allow your pitcher to get that pulse rate a little bit down, drink some water, kind of settle in. For Michelle Roche, not too much of an opportunity. If Shimano winds up making that out there, she's got to run back out and do battle again. And we have a look here at Einon's at bat in the bottom of the first. The throw into the baseline. Allie Schroeder went back to try to field it on the long hop, and Einon came through, knocked down Schroeder. 2 runs came in to score on that play. And fortunately, both players are okay. That collision looked pretty bad from up here, but glad to see that everybody's still in the game.
Yeah, a lot of credit to the staff here, trainers, etc., who always are very attentive. Anytime there's any kind of contact like that, anything, safety first.
Einon hits that one in the air high and deep. Hastings goes back and settles underneath it. She'll have it for out number 3 here in the bottom of the second. The Queens get a base hit with 2 outs, wind up stranding 1. We are through 2. It is Boston 5, LA 4. Back after this. We have a look at some fans here at Robin Roberts Stadium as the Boston Hunters lead the LA Queens 5-4, top of the 3rd inning, and the fan in the middle wearing a brand new Queens hat, sticker still on it, no less. Might be a little jealous. I do love the I love the Queens logo. These 4 brands that have been created here, the Hunters, the Queens, the Heights, the Firebells. As a marketing guy, primarily, I guess I got to say, I love the color schemes that have been chosen, the history of each team, and kudos to the branding crew that put all of this together. It's just absolutely spot on.
Very, very intentional with each team being named after a trailblazing woman.
Michelle Roche misses down low, 0-2. Perfect spot to miss 0-2. Count 1-2 now. Mish got in trouble early, surrendered a couple runs, loaded the bases in the second, but wound up getting away, allowing only 2 runs, really limiting the damage. Struck out a pair and induced a ground out, and got off easy. Kept her team within striking distance. The Queens trail at 5-4. That one cut on and missed. And the throw down to first, as that one was in the dirt, is in time for out number 1 here in the top of the 3rd.
Roche starting to take things just in her own hands so far. That's her 3rd strikeout so far. And that's in the last 4 hitters that she has faced. So she's starting to heat up.
And she wasn't about to let her Canadian national teammate Allie Schroeder even get her feet dug into the box. She was on the rubber, ready to go. And Maggie had to take a little bit of time and say, hey, hold up there, cowboy. Schroeder's got a little dirt on her boots. She's got to get off. That one looped into right. Schroeder's red hot. Throw is coming into first, and they say not in time to get Allie Schroeder, but great play made there by Ashton Lansdell, saying, man, I had an opportunity to get her at first. I wanted to take that opportunity, and a throw on the money to Sarah Edwards. And Ashton not too pleased with our base umpire.
Well, and we knew she had a strong arm. We'd seen it at third base in the infield, thrown across the diamond. So a really close play here. Initially, the umpire saying that Edwards was not on the bag at first base. That looked like that's what the call was, because the ball certainly beats her. Was her foot on the bag? That is what the umpire is seeing. Did not happen.
And I'll tell you, from my men's softball days, there's nothing quite as fun as taking advantage of that opportunity when you're in the outfield to try to get that 9-4 putout. So Ashton trying to take advantage of it, couldn't do it. And for the LA Queens, it's going to be a pitching change. Michelle Roche had settled down a bit, winds up allowing 5 runs and is responsible for that runner on first base. And it will be a new era call to the bullpen as the Queens dip into the pen a little bit earlier than they would have hoped, Jenna Becerra.
They will, and we'll take a look at who's coming out for them next. Back at Robert Roberts Stadium here in the top of the third inning. 1 out and 1 on for the Boston Hunters as Taima Maximiliana enters the game for the Hunters. Very good fastball. And she will contend with a batting order that has been tough to contend with so far, as Michelle Roche gave up half a dozen hits to this Hunters team in 2 1/3 innings of work. She'll face Hyona Kim, who was hit by a pitch in the second. This time swings and misses, and the count 1-1 on Kim. And not the first time recently that the Hunters have seen Maximiliana on the mound. She did come to relieve Shimano last time out. That was just on Sunday, through a little over an inning of work. Didn't give up any hits and just 1 earned run too. So she did have some success in her quick outing.
She's been pretty electric, and we saw the her stat line as we came in. 2 1/3 innings, 1 strikeout, 5 walks to this point, but that fastball has been very hard to ignore. Pitch misses high, and the count will go to 3-1 on Kim. The 18-year-old Maximiliana, fastball cut on, foul tipped, and the count will run full on Kim. Tough outing for Roche. She is still responsible for the runner on first base, allowed 5 runs. See if Maxie, as they call her, can settle down. The runner going, that one skied in the air to right. Lansdell, long way to go. She's got it, throws over to first. Does she have a chance? And unable to get Allie Schroeder, who does a wind sprint 90 feet and then a wind sprint right back the other way to get back safely into first.
The situational awareness there from Schroeder was absolutely key, because yes, she took off stealing on that, but immediately knew, okay, I got to look and see what's going on. I see it's out in right field and I got to get back. So without that pre-pitch preparation to know what the situation was, you're not going to be in a position to do that. So nice job by her.
Pitch down low, taken for a ball. 1-0 on Gabby Haas. Haas coming up for the 3rd time in as many innings, a 1 for 2. Grounded out in the first, singled in the second, was stranded on third. kicks, deals. Haas hits that one in the air to left. Villarreal drifts to her left, camps underneath it. Out number 3 here in the top of the third. For the first time, the Hunters are kept off the board. We are through 2.5. It's Boston 5 and LA 4. It is a full moon tonight here in Robert Roberts Stadium. Well, at least it looks full from here as it is coming into the sky on this lovely Wednesday night. Baseball between the Boston Hunters and the LA Queens. The Hunters with 3 in the first, 2 in the second. But a goose egg in the top of the third, Jenna Becerra. The Queens answered back with 4 in the bottom of the first. That's got us to where we are right now, 5-4. And Gigi Schiano's out there to try to set down this LA Queens lineup. First pitch taken for a strike by Sarah Edwards. Go for it.
She started getting in a rhythm in that second inning. Totally different than the first inning. I mean, gets the ground out, gets the fly out. Did give up a single, but then gets another fly out. So faces just one above the minimum there in the second. That's the rhythm that we've seen from her through most of the season and why she's been so reliable for the Hunters.
And for Gigi, we have talked about her stock in trade has been getting ahead, not walking batters. That first inning was a bit of a blip. She gave up 4, but the Queens still knocking on the door. We got ourselves a ball game, 5-4 here in the bottom of the third. Schiano, if you encounter her off the field, generally always smiling. And she'll talk to you like she's known you forever. It is a media-friendly crew, to say the least. That one skied in the air to right. Pattison will go to her right, settle underneath it for out number 1 here in the bottom of the third.
Since the Hunters were able to retake the lead in the second, Schiano's done a nice job of getting that first out when coming back onto the bump after that. So that is how you set the tone on the defensive side, because you just want to let your offense get back in there and get back to work.
So Gigi records out number 1 here in the bottom of the third. First pitch taken for a ball outside by Maggie Fox. I've been corrected by one of the coaches from the American Girls Baseball Group, Mike Ponko, who coaches college baseball up in Michigan. Actually, Mike coached Oz Sailors way back when at University of Maine Presque Isle when Oz played D3 baseball, one of the pioneers way back when. 2-0, ball taken high, count now on Maggie Fox. But I stand corrected, it is a waxing gibbous moon, 96%, not quite a full moon. I'm getting called out on the stats and the moon stats tonight. Here we are. The more you know. I need that graphic to flash. 3-0 now on Maggie. Pitch taken for ball 4, and I came here to watch you hit, Maggie, not walk.
Back-to-back walks. You know, again, you'll take it for your team, right? You want to get on base, but she started off, she was leading the team in hits for a while with that aggressiveness, but got to appreciate her having good vision up there. I mean, staying patient, it's not easy to do.
Take that, 1-on, 1-out for the Queens as Villarreal skies that one down the right field line. It'll be near the bullpen, foul territory. Ball untouched as Allie Schroeder gives chase. And the count 0-1 on Bella Villarreal. Bella walked, a run scored on that walk, so she got an RBI the easy way, her first time up. Came in 1 for 3 did Bella. Sciano checks Fox if she knows Maggie's got no shot of stealing second. That one laced to left. Played there on a couple hops by Lexi Hastings, and she'll get it back into the shortstop Padgham. So Villarreal 2 for 4 in the early going for her here in this WPBL season. And she found one that was hung up a little bit over the plate, Jenna, and she just took advantage of it, laced it to left.
Her timing was on point. That's what allowed her to take advantage of that pitch. Waited on it nicely, poked it right into the outfield. And by the way, he is allowed to say that there's no shot that Maggie was going to steal. He's allowed to.
Oh, I would say that if she was sitting next to me.
I don't know. Every time Maggie comes to back up at first base, she gives me a fist bump. So she gets over here really quickly.
She should wear the gear when she hits, maybe. I really hope she doesn't go back and watch this. AJ, I'm just appreciative that she hustles and does what she's supposed to do. But for all these women who are out here, the amount of hustle and doing the right thing and playing the right way has been a treat. And that's some of the feedback that we've gotten from the managers and the coaches in this league, is that these are players who are doing the little things that you want to coach into players. They came here with that. 1-1 to Ibarra, native of Jalisco, Mexico, member of the Mexican national team since 2019.
Yeah, when it comes down to winning games, especially the second half of the season when things can begin to drag and you cannot maybe have the swing that you feel like you had in the beginning of the season, you have to go back to the fundamentals, doing the little things. That's how you're going to keep that momentum and even build it up for those that are kind of starting to catch their stride in the second half.
That's something these players talk about, just is representative of women's baseball too, competing every single pitch. That includes those little things.
That one skied left side of the infield, and Padgham will get underneath it. Our base umpire rules infield fly, so of course immaterial whether that one was caught. Now 2 down here in the bottom of the third, and that will bring up Sammy Benitez, the leadoff batter for this Queens team. Benitez continuing her hot streak, singled her first time up, came around to score. That one grounded up the middle. Charging in is Eldenace. Emma Charles-Sealer will send Fox, and Fox will score standing up, proving me wrong. How do you like them apples? She will score, knot up the ball game, 5 apiece, as a single cruises up the middle off the bat of Benitez, her second of the game.
Been eventful for Ashton Lansdell so far, the captain for the Queens. Thought she was safe on that one. It was a bang, bang play. That was on the offensive end. Here for defense, the throw, getting in time, but Sarah Edwards' foot not on the bag to be able to get the out at first base. And she's been fired up, so we're going to see her trying to take it out on that baseball here.
And if you're a player in this situation, you can go one of 2 ways. It's the old, how are you reacting or how are you responding? If you're reacting in this situation, you're trying to prove something to somebody. If you're responding in this situation, you've got your heart rate low, you've got your biorhythms in a good spot. Now you're ready to hit a line drive and do what you got to do and say, hey, none of that stuff matters. What matters is what I can control here. 2-0 now on Ashton. Sciano in a bit of trouble, and Ashton will sky it on the right side of the infield. Schroeder coming in, long way for her to go. It's going to fall harmlessly in foul territory, just a strike, kind of in no man's land. Easier ball there for Schroeder, the first baseman, or Kim, the catcher, or Sciano, the pitcher. In the major leagues, usually they just point to the sky and get out of the way.
Typically, the best angle that you have is from the corner in that situation, Schroeder, but she's playing well behind first base too, so it was a ton of ground for her to cover. Usually though, you have that viewpoint because it's all unfolding in front of you. Your momentum is bringing you towards that ball.
That one skied in the air right side. Schroeder now going out on it. We'll see if she can camp underneath it. And that one into her glove and out. And Ashton Lansdell taking the role of a cat here. She might have 9 lives in this at bat.
And in that situation, oftentimes you see the outfielder taking priority in that situation because they have the better angle to that ball. But a lot of room that Patterson would have had to have covered. And really, Schroeder was right there. Just needed to get it all the way in the pocket, see it all the way in.
That one, with as far as Patterson would have had to go, that's a tough ball for her because you're not playing in on Lansdell. Lansdell's got 3 bombs to this point in the season.
And Schroeder was playing back behind first.
And all of that immaterial as an off-speed pitch catches the inside corner for strike 3 called. So the Queens wind up getting one to knot us up at 5 apiece. We are through 3. We'll be back right after this.
School is back in session, and tonight's Teacher Appreciation Night here at Robin Roberts Stadium, and it's proudly presented by Horace Mann. Throughout the inaugural season, Horace Mann is recognizing the educators who inspire future generations. Tonight, we're honored to make sure that we appreciate Amanda Maloney, a music teacher at Taylorsville Junior High School in Taylorsville, Illinois. Thank you, Amanda, for making a difference. Now it's time we head back to Jenna and our special guest, Lauren Fox, back in the booth.
Thank you, AJ. As always, we appreciate those in education. As Maybell is down there entertaining the audience. Having been in a mascot suit before, I got to tell you, it is really difficult to maintain that level of energy on a hot day when all you're doing is sweating. You think about how hot it is just wearing clothes on a day like that, and then being in a mascot suit is another story entirely. And on Teacher Appreciation Night, we have the opportunity to hear from Takara Eldenace about one of her favorite teachers as well.
My biology teacher in high school, his name was Mr. Bean, and he was the best. He was literally a legend, and it wasn't necessarily that he was influential in like my baseball career, but he really was the first teacher to make me believe in myself.
Wonderful to hear as a high pop fly is skied into right field, taken by the second baseman Benitez for out number 1 here in the top of the 4th inning. And for Takara, as confident as she is, it's amazing to hear that it took a teacher for her to kind of blossom in that scenario, because she's somebody that when you talk to, it seems like she came out fully formed, but clearly a teacher made a huge difference in her life. Denver Bryant swings, fouls it off on the right side. 0-1 the count on Denver. Denver on base twice tonight, both times by way of a walk. Walk came around to score in the first and was stranded in the second. Tima Maximiliana came on in the third and retired the only 2 batters she faced there. And this time tries the outside corner with a fastball. Misses, 1 ball, 1 strike.
You know, AJ Andrews talked with her before one of our games recently about that eye black and some of the glitter that she puts on there, and Maximiliana's rocking it on the mound again tonight.
She's a fun one to talk to. First of all, and you all have spoken of it, she speaks 4 different languages.
Yeah.
I speak 1. So with that said, as Bryant watches strike 3 called over the outside corner, and that will be out number 2 here in the bottom of this, or in the top of the second. Maximiliana looking outside corner, and boom, right to the glove. Bryant caught looking for the second out here in the top of the 4th, and that'll bring up Takara Eldenace, who walked and scored, or actually singled and scored, I should say, back in the 1st. First pitch coming to Takara, misses inside.
That was a pretty pitch from
Had a lot of
Maximiliana.
movement, didn't it?
Beautiful.
With some of the pitchers that we've seen, if you can find a way to pitch inside and get that movement up and in, and as she drops a curveball over the inside corner, 1 ball, 1 strike on Takara Eldenace, if you can find a way to do that, that's kind of the answer. That outside corner has been sort of hit or miss for the pitchers. With that inside corner can really be the answer, as that one is skied in the air to left. Villarreal over to her right, gets underneath it. Nice running catch for Villarreal. And 3 up, 3 down for the Queens here in the top of the 4th inning. We are tied through 3.5. Back after this. Sunday night, Jamie Mackay with a big blast to left field against Kate Blunt. Her 5th home run of the season for Mackay. She has been the big power bat so far in this Queens lineup, crossing home 5 times by way of a round tripper. And her danger zone, well, if you're pitching and you're looking at that, that's where not to throw it, Jenna.
And you don't want to throw it over the white of the plate anyway, but when you do it to somebody who's got as hot of a bat as Jamie Mackay, yeah, she's going to make you pay.
I feel like we should have had Kenny Loggins' danger zone while that was going on. She looks, she hunts fastballs, and dusted that one over the left field wall against Blunt, who outside of that really was pretty close to unblemished on Sunday night. She was excellent on the bump for the Hunters.
It was the only earned run.
Rolled on the left side. Bryant is up with it. Long throw across the diamond to Schroeder, and that internal clock for Denver Bryant working like a charm gets Mackay by half a step. First out here in the bottom of the 4th.
I think that's been the key for Schiano after that tough first inning. After that 2nd, 3rd, and 4th first batter she's faced, she has retired, and that puts the advantage in your back pocket.
First pitch coming to Schiano, taken for a ball off the plate, 1-0. Or Shimano, I should say. Schiano is the one on the mound.
Schiano v. Shimano.
Shimano. I hadn't even thought of that until just now, until I tripped over it, but yep.
Well, the first time it was Schiano on Shimano crime,
yes,
the strikeout, and then it was Shimano on Schiano crime in the 2nd inning with the single.
And now it is a Equipment malfunction as Shimano navigates her batting helmet. Maggie Fox runs out, pops out of the dugout with the helmet. Is that another one? I know for a lot of these players, they're not necessarily used to the one flap, which is helpful when it comes to hearing things, but when it comes to having the thing stay on your head, maybe not quite as helpful. Fastball misses away to Shimano. Ayuri batting from the left side, 4 for 7 here in the early going. 571, nice and tidy batting average. 2-0 now the count. Takes a look at a strike, 2-1. One thing that we saw in the early going was the outfielders not really giving the hitters enough credit. And that was before I had the opportunity to come here, as Shimano rips that one to right, and I guess on time, that conversation, Pattison playing her deep. But the first several games here, the outfielders weren't playing particularly deep and were getting beaten a fair amount. Now everybody kind of has an idea where to play and has an idea where the fences are, Jenna, and that seems to be making things much easier for the outfielders, just kind of getting the lay of the land and really understanding what the bats do.
And that's a couple different things, right? Of course, that's getting used to the competition, where people actually put the ball in play, what their tendencies are in terms of your opponents. But it's also, to your point, getting used to Robin Roberts Stadium. There is no home field advantage for any particular team, considering everybody is here in one place. So they all were getting used to it at the same time.
Anon takes a look at a strike, count of 0-2 on her. Of course, we have the Gold Glover in the dugout. We may come back to her after the half inning rather than sending it to her right now. Here comes the 0-2 pitch, cut on and missed, and down on strikes goes Caitlin Anon. So don't look now, the top of the bottom of the 4th inning both went down in order. We are through 4, knotted at 5, back after this. Top of the 5th inning here at Robin Roberts Stadium, and we see our fans here doing the Macarena on a game where we're tied 5-5, and Gigi Schiano trying to do her best Kevin Brown impression from the old days, convincing her manager Jamile Weeks to let her stay in the ball game. Jamile trying to decide whether Gigi should know when to hold him or know when to fold him, and that's one of the toughest things as a manager. Do you pull somebody who looks like they're really getting into her groove, or do you give the next one a clean inning? It's an age-old problem, Jenna. I don't know. Gigi looks good. 68 pitches, I think we saw.
And really just better and better as the innings have gone on, too. She is starting to heat up at this point. Teammates telling her, you got to take care of your body.
Yeah, look at the right arm. Denver's pointing at the right arm.
Playing devil's advocate here.
I want to bottle Denver's energy and sell it. It is like nothing I've ever seen.
Well, you can basically get it if you get some Boston merch. You can feel like Denver.
Seriously, yeah. Pitch misses down low, 1-0. Time of Maximiliana on the mound. She has retired all 5 that she has seen to this point. The 1-0 to Rain Padgham, misses in 2-0 now. Of course, we were talking about defensive positioning, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention the fact, AJ, that I was talking to Tamara Holmes before the game. Holmesy, for those who do not know, is a silver bullet, a legend in women's baseball, USA national team, has coached many teams at different levels, and just an encyclopedia of women's baseball. Is that pitch taken for a strike by Padgham, the count now 3-1, and she shows me this gold glove, and she says, look who I got to sign my glove. And sure enough, who signed the palm of the glove? Our gold glover, AJ Andrews. How do you like that? Padgham hits that into center field, snagged by the center fielder Ibarra, out number 1 here in the top of the 5th.
Yeah, I'm always so humbled. No, truly, I really appreciate it. She's awesome and a legend in the game, and so to have her that excited, to me, it just, the game recognizes game. I do have some word on Gigi and her conversation with Jamal Weeks. And Jamal was planning to take Gigi out next inning, but Gigi, I asked her what she said to Jamal, and she said, just give me one more. Just give me one more. And so I think she's going to get one more.
Pitch taken inside for ball 1 by Lexi Hastings. Count now 1-0. So Gigi will go out there for one more. If the Queens have their way, she won't finish that one more. The 1-0, cut on, checked swing. Can't really have a look at that one. Hastings is a lefty batter, and there's nobody to have a look at, so the count now 2-0 on Lexi Hastings.
The pressure is on, though. She said, manager Jamal Weeks said, all right, well, don't mess it up. You got to get a lot of outs. 1, 2, 3.
As the amateur sports psychologist in the booth, I would say maybe different phrasing the next time. However, pitch taken for a strike over the inside corner, 2-1. Gigi's still smiling and talking to everybody, so hey, you got a hot hand, let the hot hand ride. 2-1, misses high, 3-1 now the count on Lexi Hastings. Hastings 0 for 2, skied one to the wall her first time up, grounded to second, back in the second. Somehow we're in the 5th and she hasn't hit again yet. For those who don't know Holmesy, pitch taken for strike 2 over the inside corner, and the count now runs full. I think our home plate umpire might have gotten just a tad ahead of herself. I was wondering what I had missed. So now here comes the payoff pitch from Maximiliana, skied. That one will wind up on the concourse somewhere. For those who don't know Tamara Holmes, I guess to give a little bit of color on her stats, if you think about Danae Benitez, I guess we're not down to one name for Danae for those who might be watching for the first time, but for those who have been watching, there's only one of them. And Maximiliana will go into the wind. Here comes the payoff pitch, cut on and missed. And down she goes on strikes. Hastings for out number 2 here in the top of the 5th. Holmesy was Danae before Danae. Video game stats would be one way to put it. If you go back through and construct the stats looking at the silver bullet, she hit a home run as a silver bullet. And playing for the national team, I think she was right around the 600 range. I aggregated it at one point a few years ago, but she was the bat to be feared. So for AJ to want that autograph, or for Holmesy to want that autograph from AJ, that's a little bit of an honor for AJ, and I think AJ knows that. She said game recognizes game, of course.
Always.
2 down here in the top of the 5th. The 1-0 is swung on, missed. And the count now 1-1 on Edith DeLeja. DeLeja 0 for 2, grounded out back in the 1st, struck out swinging in the 3rd. And Maximiliana out there on the bump, getting it done. That one up the middle by DeLeja is the first blemish on an otherwise clean sheet for T-Max here in the top of the 5th. And now that'll bring up Allie Schroeder, who came into today 0 for 5, but has put her foot down with 2 base hits. Sharp single up the middle for DeLeja.
Yeah, after 7 straight batters since she came in, Maximiliana had retired. So DeLeja taking the opportunity to make the adjustment that the Hunters were looking for in this moment.
2 outs, 1 on for the Hunters in this 5-5 ball game. Hit number 7 for the Boston squad. First pitch taken for a strike. The throw down to second is not in time. Schroeder was in standing up, but bit of a delayed call there at second base. I think they were trying to figure out whether she had left the base. And Maximiliana, as they would say, or as Schroeder, as you would say, that one was stolen on the pitcher. The 0-1, that one is ripped up the middle. Coming in a hurry is Ibarra. Has it go off her glove. Schroeder was being held and will come in to score. Or delay, I should say, was being held and comes in to score. And that will make it 6-5 in favor of the Hunters. A sharp single to center. The last 2 doing that after 8 retired in a row.
And Schroeder having herself a day, her 3rd single tonight. Talk about heating up when you get the bat going here in the WPBL. And this time it brings in a run. She scored a run after she singled back in the 2nd. The captain is stepping up here offensively.
And they kind of hit her in that 8-hole in the lineup, thinking that might catch the Queen sleeping. And sure enough, they've done it 3 times. 3 singles for the captain, Schroeder. Pitch in the dirt. Schroeder was going. She'll stop at second. And figure that will be shown as a stolen base for Allie Schroeder. Or a wild pitch, I should say.
Yeah, not a whole lot Fox could do on that.
All you're trying to do is limit her moving 90 feet there. Maximiliana deals the 1-0. That one is ripped right at the third baseman Einon, and she'll take a couple steps to her left, record the 3rd out here in the top of the 5th. Taima Maximiliana gives up her first couple hits here, and the Hunters wind up plating a run 6-5 through 4.5. Back after this.
Well, Gigi Schiano apparently won the argument there with Jemile Weeks. The manager has her back out there on the bump. She's already thrown 4 solid innings. The first one a little tougher, but she really settled in 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. She's got a couple of Ks in her back pocket, letting the defense work, getting hitters to just miss, spotting her pitches beautifully, and the movement has been there.
That one skied into center. And heading out, the shortstop Pageant. She'll get underneath it for the first out here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
4th straight inning.
I was going to say, those quick first batters retired, really, it puts the onus on the next batter to kind of try to slow things down.
Yep.
And that's not always the easiest thing to do. You're trying to think of your job is to get a base hit. Your job is not to stop the clock. But in this case, you have multiple jobs. Maggie Fox, a pair of walks. First pitch taken for a ball down low, 1-0. I promise I'm not trying to rhyme. The first 2 lines just came out in time. I'll see myself out later. The 1-0 coming, taken for a strike. Count now 1-1 on Fox. Takes a deep breath, back into the batter's box. Of course, you want a pitcher to self-advocate. Sciano deals. That one buzzes Maggie's tower, 2-1. Sets you up for a good career in law, sales. Those are both essential skills. Gigi, of course, played college baseball last year. 2-1 comes. That one fouled back by Foxtown. Now 2 balls, 2 strikes. Maggie's walked twice, as I mentioned, came around to score in the third. Her team trails 6-5. She came in to score on a single by Sam Benitez and calls timeout. Steps out of the batter's box, will reset. 2 balls, 2 strikes on her.
And that's important if she feels like she needs to do that. Stay in your rhythm as a hitter. You know, Sciano's clearly in her rhythm on the mound. But for Fox to step out when she needs to make sure that she's in the place she wants to be, that's how you take control of your approach.
So the count runs full on Fox. Sciano into the wind. Payoff pitch coming is upstairs, ball 4, and 3 walks now for Maggie as she'll head down to first with a 1-out walk. And this one kind of a carbon copy so far of the bottom of the third. Fox walked with 1 out. Bella Villarreal singled, and then Sammy Benitez brought Fox home. We'll see what the Queens have up their sleeves here. Fox a modest lead over there at first. Pitch misses upstairs, 1-0.
Do you think you were going to see 3 walks when you were throwing BP to Maggie earlier today?
No. I'm glad I threw all that BP, though. It is, I will say this, and I know there are a lot of parents of players out there. It is one of the joys of my existence to be able to throw BP to people, particularly to my own kid, but also to people that I like, as that one's fouled off on the left side. Denver giving chase in foul territory, gets almost to the fence and corrals it for out number 2 here in the bottom of the 5th.
You talk about getting comfortable here in the WPBL. Denver Bryant's hat had fallen off a couple of times early on this season when she went to make plays. She just goes, you know what, I'm just going to take it off myself so that I have the visibility I want to make this play. And she covers a ton of ground. Nicely done.
And it looks like that one might have hit something. I'm not entirely sure. We got a safe sign from the umpire, and we have Bella Villarreal back at bat again. So something strange is afoot at the Circle K. So that chalk outline right there is out of play. It doesn't matter where Denver's feet are, it matters where the ball would have landed. It's not like she's a wide receiver in the NFL, so if in the umpire's judgment it would have been in that area, it's out of play. Denver making an argument that I have 2 feet in bounds. That is a legal catch. I was making a baseball move.
Well, great effort regardless for her to get over there. She was trying to keep her feet outside of the lines, but
from talking to her about her athletic ability, placing in the discus in high school, scoring 38 points in a game, playing hoops, she can do a lot of different things. She is an absolute unicorn out there as Denver Bryant. And I said to her, I was so happy to see you on the mound the other day come in. And she says, I haven't done that in a little bit, but I'm comfortable. It's something that I know how to do. And I don't know that that was a known quantity going into the WPBL draft. But when you have an arm like Denver who can come in and give you a couple innings, it's a great weapon to have. 2-2 now to Bella Villarreal. Gigi will back off the mound. By our count, Gigi is at 82 pitches. I don't know what the high water mark is for anybody at this point in the season. Bella fouls it back, 83. I know that there have been times in the AGB tournaments way back when I saw Jada Lee upwards of 100. And you talk about a dog who wants the ball. Jada wants that baseball. Gigi in that same mold. Here comes the 2-2. Bella Villarreal hits it right in the 5-6 hole. Maggie Fox will move up 90 feet. And now with 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th, Bella has put Gigi in a bit of hot water, and it'll be Diana Ibarra coming up with 2 out, or 2 on and 1 out.
Just turns on this pitch. Slightly elevated, but gets the top half of the ball to punch it through the infield. And it is essentially exactly what we saw from just a couple of innings ago last time through the order. An out, a walk, and a single.
And Bella's getting it done at bat. She's been on base all 3 times tonight, 2 base hits and a walk. And from your number 8 to get that is got to put a smile on EY's face. But what will really put a smile on his face is whether they can turn those into runs at this point. Jamal out there having a long conversation with Gigi Schiano. Olivia Bricker at the ready, about to pop out of the dugout.
She was warming up in the pen earlier in this game.
Had the chance to talk to Bricker before the game and saw her at the team hotel with her Labradoodle Honey. Adorable dog, but she convinced her parents to leave Honey with her for the week. And so she has Alexia George watching Honey for the first couple hours, and then somebody else is taking on. Maggie, who I was with, of course, at the time said, "Can I watch Honey later this week?" And Olivia said, "Well, can you watch her Friday?" So sure enough, Olivia Bricker has somebody to watch her dog, and Olivia's got to be a little bit happy that she is our new Eric Call to the bullpen, coming in with 2 on and 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. We will take a short break and come right back. Back here in the bottom of the 5th inning at Robin Roberts Stadium, we see Gigi Schiano talking to her coach, Tack Wilson, and her manager, Jamal Weeks. And talking to Tack before the game, he loves the competitiveness and the fire that he's seen from the players that he's coaching. And Gigi is given the fire right now. And looking at Tack's face while they were talking earlier, the fascination at a pitcher who just wants to stay in the game, wants to get the outs. He has never coached women. He absolutely loves this.
Gigi Schiano being able to have this open communication with the staff as well, talking openly with Jamal Weeks, Tack Wilson right there as well. That, I think, has been a theme that we've seen in the WPBL as well. The managers really listening to the players. Of course, sometimes you got to reel them in, like Jamal Weeks probably just had to do right now with Schiano, because they want to get out there and compete. But to be able to have that open line of communication, I think, is absolutely crucial.
And it's, again, we talked about it, one of the toughest things to do as a manager. Do you give somebody a clean inning, or do you try to ride the horse that brought you and see whether you can get out of the inning? And unfortunately for Gigi, she couldn't get out, but Olivia Bricker will come in and try to do a number here. Bricker, we've only seen on the mound in the WPBL, college softball player, played at Bellarmine as well as Wright State. And for those who don't know, an excellent outfielder, good bat. But we are seeing her here in the WPBL as a PO, which for those who haven't heard it, is a pitcher only. In Major League Baseball, everybody who pitches is a PO. Here, the POs are a bit of a unicorn. And we have a batter in the ball game, Monet Davis, coming in to bat in place of Diana Ibarra. So Davis in, Ibarra out, and they're putting Monet in a high leverage situation, trying to add to her season total of 3 RBI. Bricker sets, checks Fox. That one is hit on one hop to short, to second for one, on to first in time. And Bricker gets it done on 2 pitches, rolls it up a double play, does her job, and gets Gigi out of the inning.
And let's take a look at our game summary presented by Visit Springfield in just a bit. But first, look at the fans having themselves a day. The birthdays that we have seen celebrated here at the ballpark have been really special. But it got started early on in this one for the game summary. 3 runs in the first for the Hunters. The Queens respond immediately with 4 runs in their half of the inning. But then Allie Schroeder, the captain, a 3-for-3 day for her. She breaks the 5-5 tie with the RBI single in the 5th. And now here we are in the 6th.
And a new wing out there for the Queens. It is Bella Villarreal out on the bump. And I've seen Bella pitch at various tournaments. She solid fastball, will get ahead in counts, not afraid to challenge hitters. And she is another one that will absolutely compete for you out there. We have not seen her on the mound so far in the WPBL, but I can tell you, having seen her out there, she is one who will battle. She will pound the zone. So getting Bella out there at this point in the ball game for UI is an excellent opportunity. We will have some defensive changes as well for the Queens. We see Jamie Mackay running out to the outfield. So it looks like the Queens may be losing the designated hitter. We will straighten out all of the substitutions for the Queens as things are getting a touch confusing here at Robin Roberts Stadium with Monet Davis coming into the game and batting in Ibarra's spot, and the cards being shuffled, I guess, leaving nothing but Queens.
Nice.
Sorry.
Davis staying in center. It did look like McKay was out there and left, to your point. We've seen McKay do just about everything. Maximiliana had solid 2 2/3 innings too. Just a couple of hits, just 1 earned run in her appearance. So she's giving it over to Villarreal, and not a bad spot. I mean, they're still very tight in this ball game.
Right, this has been a fun one. It's been back and forth. It looked early on, we had 5 runs scored by the Hunters in the first 2 innings. Queens scored 4 in the bottom of the first. Looked like it was going to be a slugfest, and things have really quieted down thanks, one thing, to Gigi Schiano and also Taima Maximiliana really coming in and putting the Hunters offense on lockdown. Fastball taken a little bit upstairs. Count 1 ball, 1 strike on Gabby Haas. Haas in college, majored in rehab service, was thinking about grad school, but right now she's thinking about baseball. Baseball was her first love. And when she's not here, when she's at home, what does she do? She goes to the field, works with her dad and her brother on getting better at this. The 2-1, cut on and missed. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bella Villarreal doing a great job pounding the zone as we knew she would. Haas started things off, grounding out, reached on a single in the second, flied out in the third, and surprisingly, it's the 6th inning, and she hasn't been back to bat again. Count runs full on Gabby. Talked about it earlier. She's in the DH role, trying to shuffle the deck around a little bit and give others an opportunity in the field, as that pitch misses the inside corner for ball 4, and down with a full count walk goes Gabby Haas.
Leadoff base runner aboard, exactly what you're looking for. And this is a Queens team that, of course, we're seeing Villarreal with her debut here on the mound, but this is the 11th arm that they have used from their staff. They came in leading the league in ERA as a group, and it's partly because they have so many options and they have so many different looks. You mentioned POs. Well, they have Meidlinger as the closer. They have Sato as a starter. Those two have been pretty lights out in most of their appearances. And then you have others that they hadn't even utilized yet, like Isabella Villarreal.
The 0-1 coming. That one fisted through the hole on the left side, and Pattison with another base hit. Stopping at second is Gabby Haas, and that one, not the type of pitch that Pattison hit to left in her second at-bat. Second at-bat, she flipped it into left. This one was in on the hands, and it looked like she just muscled it out into left field.
Little inside out on this pitch, but gets her hands inside the ball enough. And the shift that we saw in the infield, Shimano really shifted way towards second base, so allows it to get out to the outfield.
Shimano was playing in the right spot for where that pitch was coming. Unfortunately for the Queens, Pattison just did a great job of inside outing it and sending it that way. And now some trouble with Denver Bryant coming to bat. First pitch to Denver, that one hit up the middle. Shimano to second for one, on to first in time. One good turn deserves another. And it looked like the Queens were in extremely hot water. And one gets you two here. Now just a runner on third, 2 outs here in the top of the 6th for Boston.
Defense coming in handy. The read off the bump right there. The quick flip from the glove from Shimano to keep it fast on the transition. And a nice throw over there from Benitez, and that's a 6-4-3 classic.
That one fastball inside, swung on a miss by Takara Heldenace. Not to critique the Mona Lisa there. As a pitcher, you love that double play, but as a coach, I almost would want Shimano just to go through the bag, take it herself, and limit the chance that there could be something happening on the transfer. Fastball misses up, 1 ball, 1 strike.
That's actually what I thought she was going to do when reading it and the play unfolding initially.
It worked out just fine. It's the no-no-go-go like on an NFL punt return. The 1-1 coming, taken for a strike, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Heldenace 1 for 3 in the game, singled in a run back in the first, struck out swinging in the second, flied out to left in the 4th. Takara from New South Wales telling us about the women's baseball infrastructure there. Utterly amazing. The 1 and 2 taken on the outside corner, strike 3 called. So Bella Villarreal in some trouble, 2 on, nobody out, and like a veteran gets her way out of the inning. 6-5 and going to the bottom of the 6th. Welcome back to Robin Roberts Stadium for the bottom of the 6th inning. It is the Boston Hunters 6 and the LA Queens 5. And Samaria Benitez will foul the offering from Olivia Bricker off on the right side. 0-2 now for Benitez. She has a couple base knocks today. Scored a run, driven in a run. Bricker entered the game in the bottom of the 5th inning in some hot water. 2 on, 1 out. And got herself a double play to get out of the inning like a veteran reliever there. We'll see if Olivia Bricker can hang on for these Boston Hunters here. She's got a tall order: Benitez, Lansdell, and Mackay here in the bottom half of the 6th. That one fouled back to the screen. Count out 0-2.
And the decision to put Benitez there at the top of the order today after going 2 for 3 last time. That was on Sunday in the 7-3 loss to the Hunters. I thought it was interesting because they're trying a couple of different things. They've moved Lansdell up to that 2 spot to get her some more ABs. They've shifted some things around, so they're trying to figure out what the best 9 and what order that looks like.
And again, it's really hard. You have a 15-game sample size to figure it out as Benitez stays hot. 3 for 4 now for Sammy Benitez, a leadoff single here in the bottom of the 6th.
Doing what leadoffs do. The movement on that pitch, she went down, got the barrel angle, made perfect contact, right back up. Doing your job as leadoff.
You'd love to see it if you're Eric Young. And Jamal Weeks heading on out there to talk to Bricker as well as his catcher, Hyuna Kim. And a brief conversation among them. Now, we alluded to the standings earlier, Jenna, and things are awfully close here in the WPBL. The Firebells 6-4, the Queens and the Heights 5-5, the Hunters 4-6. So 2 games separate everybody. It's like this is double jeopardy time of the season when the scores can really change. All these teams know each other. Everybody's kind of a known quantity, but if I were saying who I think is going to come out on top based upon their lineup 1 through 9, and we talked about this before the game, it'd be really hard to argue against the Firebells.
They just have that firepower all through their lineup. They have some options on the mound like Jill Albayati and Kelsey Whitmore. Both have been great for them. It's really difficult when they have all parts of the game clicking. Them and the Queens were kind of fighting for that top spot in the standings, going back and forth for a bit. And they don't play each other for the rest of the regular season.
Right.
The West Coast matchups and the East Coast matchups are done when it comes to the regular season. So those other matchups are going to be crucial.
First pitch coming to Ashton. Lansdell is fouled back to the screen. No balls, 1 strike on Ashton. Hit by a pitch back in the first, grounded out in the second, and struck out looking in the third. That at bat, she had 9 lives and just about spent them all. Couple foul pops that fell harmlessly. The 0-1, that one fouled off, and the count now 0-2 on Ashton. She was getting early work in the cage before the game. She and Jamie Mackay were just beating balls into the net, getting after it, doing everything in their power to get the reps. And it's that little bit of something extra, more than expected. Those things that you can do are the things that set you apart. That's where you get gains. And for others in this league, for young girls watching, that's where greatness is made, the work when nobody is watching you. That pitch up and away, Lansdell lets it go by, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And Ashton Lansdell has talked about the ability to just focus on baseball. That's one of the beautiful parts of this professional league in its inaugural season, is getting to do that for more than a 2-week stretch, maybe that you do with the national team and Team USA at the World Cup group stage, for example.
Ashton checked her swing. Kim thought she had gone. Nothing doing. I didn't see a signal from the home plate umpire, but I think the catcher Kim thought that she had gone. Lansdell thought that Kim had thought that she had gone. And now, if you're Ashton right now, you kind of want to step out,
Deep breath.
get your pulse rate down, deep breath a little bit. 2 balls, 2 strikes to the captain. And she's going to get her wish. Step out, take a reset. Benitez on first, nobody out. Bottom of the 6th inning, 1-run ball game, Boston on top. Pitch up and away. Lansdell lets it go by, and the count will run full on the captain, Ashton Lansdell. Talking to Ashton, this has been like being at summer camp. Because as much as the games are fun, getting to know everybody else has been an absolute joy for her. That pitch misses down low, and Lansdell will trot down to first. And if you're Jamal Weeks, this is not your happy place right now. Runners on first and second, nobody out, and Jamie Mackay riding to the plate. And mound visit number 2 is coming. Jamal is going to make a new error call to the bullpen.
Yeah, when you have the go-ahead run coming up to the plate and you know that she can change a game with one swing. We've seen her do it before. We've actually seen her do it 5 times. She's just behind the leaders in Kelsey Whitmore and Danae Benitez with 8 apiece. You want to be able to take a moment right before you're going to go up against this next hitter, figure out what the plan is, make sure everybody's on the same page, and make some decisions if needed.
Our home plate umpire out there to adjudicate the mound conversation. Ricker leaving. Weeks will be bringing another new wing in. It will not be Paloma Benach, as we thought that it might have been. It will be Allie Schroeder, the fireman coming in to put out the fire in a high leverage situation. So
Captain, we've already seen her do it defensively at first, offensively in the box with a few hits under her belt, now getting the chance on the mound as she's been one of the go-to arms for the Hunters.
And you love to see that lever being pulled at this point in the game. Now, of course, Sabrina Robinson into the ball game, playing first base for these Boston Hunters, but it has been a busy couple days for the WPBL Commissioner, Justine Siegel, heading down to Williamsport for the Little League World Series also.
Yeah, WPBL Commissioner Justine Siegel threw out the first pitch at the Little League World Series yesterday. And there are a couple of standout girls playing in Williamsport this summer. Kinley Rasmus, who's on the Southeast Region team, and Carson Meyer on the Mountain Region team. Commissioner Siegel talked about how it's fun to be able to highlight the girls, or the game is highlighting the girls playing baseball. And she said that Kinley, because she was over there at her game, is definitely a leader on the team, a true impact player. And after Monet Davis came out on the scene in the 2014 Little League World Series, that's when people really realized what Justine said she already knew, is that girls are just as good and competitive and belong in baseball. The excitement of seeing Monet Davis out there pitching really propelled a lot of individuals to want to get going. That's when you started MLB, started the Trailblazer series, and really getting going with getting more involved with Baseball for All, which Justine Siegel already had. But she said that the goal for her in the future is to see the girls playing baseball is no longer a story, but rather it is assumed that they will excel.
Thank you, AJ. Great to hear from Justine about that, as well as to see her down at Williamsport for that opportunity. So, and I think that might be the first time I've seen Kinley Rasmus smile, because usually when she's out there on the mound, she is in...
She's locked in.
She's in Maggie Meidlinger mode. She is locked in as the first pitch thrown by Allie Schroeder goes off the left leg of Jamie Mackay. And that's one way to do it. I think Jamie would have rather launched it over the fence, but Jamie will reach after being hit by a pitch, and that will load the bases for the Queens here in the bottom of the 6th. Now, keep in mind, these are 7-inning games, of course, for those who might not have been watching the whole season. And, of course, you get a couple runs here, a little bit of insurance. You go, you get 3 outs. That's the ball game. So, for the Queens, this is an opportunity that you absolutely need to capitalize on. It'll be Ayuri Shimano comes in, 1 for 3 on the day. Single back in the 2nd. Shimano skies it down the right field line, out of play. The count now 0-2 on Ayuri. Had the opportunity to talk to her before the game. She did an excellent job for the Queens the other night on the mound, but she'll tell you her favorite spot is playing shortstop, the 0-2 down low. Puts up a hand to hold up Benitez. Make sure that she's not gonna try to score on anything. 1-2 now on Shimano. At least we don't have Shimano and Sciano anymore. That was too much for my travel brain to wrap around. The 1-2 gets all the way to the backstop. Benitez will charge in on the wild pitch, dive in head first and score, and celebrate with a hand to the sky. And the other two runners trailing her move up 90 feet. So Shimano does the job. Ball 2, 2 balls, 2 strikes, and we are now tied at 6. That one actually behind Shimano, who motioned with her right hand to bring the runner in, and Benitez might have had a chance to get her with a good feed to home, but alertly diving in, a barrel roll slide into home by any means necessary, and just seeing the competitiveness, it just warms my heart. Rolled right side by Shimano. Count hangs on. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
When you talked about the nonverbal communication, you know, we saw Shimano holding the hand up because she knew that it was handled by the catcher back there and Kim on the previous pitch, and on that one right away, no, come, here. Now's the time, now's the time. So those are teammates helping each other out too. There's always a role to be played.
Exactly. This is a team game. It's a team game made up of individual actions, but that's what makes it the joy, and that's what makes it a thinking game. It's what's going on above your shoulders, and almost more so than what's going on below them. Tied 6-6, Shimano staying alive. Fouls that one off right side. 2 balls, 2 strikes. How close did that one get to AJ?
That one wasn't close, but the one before that was very close. I hid behind the fence in order to remain unscathed by the foul ball.
There's the A.J. Andrews danger zone as well that we have. Got to keep you safe. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That one hit down the right field line, but curling foul. Shimano looking at everything in Schroeder's armamentarium right now.
AJ might need to borrow the glove that you signed for Tamara Holmes pretty soon.
Yep.
Here.
You know what? I actually brought my glove today.
Ooh, get him.
That's right.
Just not out here.
Down and in, taken for ball 3. Now you do have somewhere to put Shimano, but it's not as if Caitlin Einon is somebody that you want to trifle with. Einon's got a homer, drove in a run earlier in the ball game. Payoff pitch coming. Now one fouled off left side, equal opportunity. Almost catches a piece of one of the queens down in the bullpen. Nothing is safe. And
you always want to make sure you stay in foul territory for that.
Yeah,
so Lansdell
down
did.
and foul, back and fair. Michelle Roche is actually down there catching the bullpen. I don't even know what's going on right now. Payoff pitch comes once again, and Shimano takes a look right down Broadway. She's down on strikes. A masterful at-bat, keeping alive. An 11-pitch at-bat for Shimano.
What an AB. I mean, this location from Schroeder, not afraid to just go right after her. She had been fouling pitches off both ways. That's ice in the veins right there.
And the movement on that one, a cut fastball just coming in on the hands, darting over and catching that inside corner. First pitch taken for a strike by Einon. She's 1 for 3, drove in 2 back in the first. Catches right down Broadway, and she's now in a hole here, 0-2. Runners on second and third for the Queens. Lansdell at third, Mackay at second, 1 out. And Einon in a hole here, 0-2. Takes a look at a fastball up. Einon very mild-mannered, but absolutely a competitor. Here comes the 1-2, fouled off behind home plate. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention that play back in the first inning. It was a ball hit deep in the hole to short. Padgham threw over to first. Einon had no choice. She had to get to the bag and wound up running through Allie Schroeder. Now we have an opportunity to see these two in different roles later on in the game. Here comes the 1-2. Check swing, no matter. It caught the outside corner, and down looking goes Einon. The second backwards K in as many at-bats. And now it's up to Sarah Edwards to try to find a way to bring those runners home with 2 outs. here in the bottom of the 6th.
We've seen this before. The first time these two teams faced each other, the first Grand Slam in WPBL history for Sarah Edwards. What an opportunity here with a couple in scoring position.
Looks at an off-speed pitch over the outside corner. 0-1 to Sarah. 0-2 in the game. Walked in the first. Came around to score. That pitch taken for a strike, and the count now 0-2 on Sarah Edwards. She's got a tough row to hoe here. Schroeder came in, runners on first and second. A run came across by way of a wild pitch. Here comes the 0-2, fouled off left side. Count remains 0-2. Jamie Mackay was hit by a pitch, moved up to second on that wild pitch. So it's where we stand right now, tied up 6 apiece here in the bottom of the 6th. And Eric Young would love a base hit right here. Here comes the 0-2. That one laced into right. Patterson comes in, fields it on a hop. One is in. Emma Charlesworth-Sealer holds up Jamie Mackay at third, and rightfully so. She would have been out from me to you. So an RBI single from Sarah Edwards gives the Queens their first lead since back in the bottom of the first inning. And now it'll be Maggie Fox coming in, trying to increase this lead for the Queens.
That's the Capelli Sport play of the game right there. The single that puts the Queens on top from Sarah Edwards, with the throw in to limit it to just one coming across from Pattison. She's had a strong arm out there all year.
Yeah, we've seen her make a number of outfield assists from out there in the corner. And now the Queens on top, 7-6 here in the bottom of the 6th. First pitch swung on, fouled off right side. 0-1 on Fox. She has walked 3 times today. Came around to score in the third. This time a curveball over the outside corner, 0-2. So Schroeder doing some work out there, getting ahead of the last 3 that she's seen, 0-2. Fox calls timeout and will back out of the batter's box, try to kind of reset here, see what she can do, knock Schroeder off her game if possible. Queens trying to find their way into run number 8. They've scored 7 to this point. The 0-2 fouled back into the screen. Count hangs on there.
It was a good defensive swing there by Fox. Too close to take with 2 strikes. Not what you prefer as a hitter, but you got to get it out of there.
At first for the Queens, Sarah Edwards. Staying hot against Schroeder. At third, Jamie Mackay. Here's the 0-2. That one misses upstairs. 1 ball and 2 strikes. This one has been back and forth throughout. The Hunters took the lead in the top of the 5th. The Queens have taken the lead here in the bottom of the 6th. That one in the dirt gets away from the catcher, Kim. McKay's gonna try to score. Fox says, get down, and McKay comes in to score on that, and Sarah Edwards all the way to third on that wild pitch. So insurance doesn't matter how you get it. The Queens just got it on a wild pitch, and now Sarah Edwards is more insurance, just 90 feet away.
That just goes off the glove of Kim right there, and the aggressiveness on the read there. McKay coming in head first. And she's fired up. Fox is fired up. We have Emma Charlesworth-Sealer over there coaching at third base. Pete Romero at first. That's the squad that EY relies on.
2-2 coming. That one misses upstairs. The count runs full on Fox. Tell you, Emma's earning her paycheck tonight. the amount of time she's had to hold people up, particularly here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
You saw her chatting with EY too a little bit ago in between pitches.
Payoff pitch coming, and that one will be ball 4 for Maggie Fox. You can't walk off the island is what they used to say, but I guess you can walk home from Springfield to New Hampshire. Fox with her 4th walk of the game, and now runners of the corners once again for these Queens, as Bella Villarreal will try to stay hot too.
I think she's doing it just to
Spite me?
to spite you, because you go from 0-2 to drawing the walk. That's a good plate appearance.
That's
right
a good
there.
at bat. I'm getting texts from her old high school teammates saying, man, are they going to throw her pitches to hit? She had pitches to hit in that at bat, though. Bowden, I'm sorry, dude. No base hits tonight, I guess. 4 walks, I'll just have to do it. 0-1 the count on Villarreal. That one taken first strike. And the count now 0-2 on Bella. Walked and drove in a run with that walk back in the first. And a pair of singles. She has been clutch with the bat. She's been clutch on the mound. And that one, she lets go by over the outside corner. Strike 3 called. So 3 strikeouts for Allie Schroeder in the bottom of the 6th. But the Queens plate 3, lead it 8-6. Back after this.
It's the top of the 7th, and Maggie Meidlinger, closer for the Queens, is now on the mound. And because we are celebrating educators tonight, we have to celebrate an educator that came all the way from Virginia to watch Maggie pitch. It's Jeff Berg, who's from Sterling, Virginia, and is from Dominion High School, baseball coach and educator, making sure that he could be here to support and watch Maggie, someone that he has coached and educated for years. Maggie excited to see him and wanted to make sure he got a shout out tonight.
Well, Meidlinger has just been dominant in her outing so far this year, a true closer. Maggie, the architect, Meidlinger, has been able to produce outs for her team. She is locked in. The defense has had her back by any means necessary. And the Queens have looked to her for the stability they need at the end of ball games.
Okay, so we've settled on the architect.
I'm going for it, AJ.
I like it. I like it.
Baseball has good nicknames. You have the professor. There are just dozens of them. Hey, why not? If the shoe fits, let's do it. I was thinking of Kyle Hendricks, Preacher. I mean, you got all kinds of good pitcher names, so why not roll with it? 2-0 now the count on Maggie. She's going to face Rain Padgham, who has gotten it done for the Hunters today. Her single back in the first inning drove in a pair. And this one hit sharply on the ground to short, gobbled up there by Shimano over to first in time for the first out here in the bottom of the, or check that, the top of the 7th inning.
Exactly what you want to do. Just roll it up, let the defense work. We got the goose in the house once again. Meidlinger also, last appearance that she had was slightly out of character. She ended up taking the loss in the extra inning 8-7 ball game against the Heights, throwing the last few innings. Only allowed 4 hits and still had a few strikeouts.
It's rare, though, that you see Maggie go more than an inning or 2. That was sort of an unusually long outing for her.
And she had 3 walks. She normally doesn't do that either.
That's correct, yes. You can find Wood. I'm not supposed to have a rooting interest in this game, but, well, that one taken for a ball down low. Fox thought that she might have been able to steal a strike, but could not do so. Hastings 0 for 3 in the game. Almost took one out back in the first inning. Sent Ashton back to the right field wall. And struck out her last time up. That one cut on and missed. It is, having spoken to Maggie on a number of occasions over the years, she is as affable of a human being as you will find. Engaging, fun, unless she's doing this. The 2-1 taken for strike 2, and the count evens up, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And I talked to her about that today, and she said, it's just what I do. It's who I am. She gets on the mound, and it's Clark Kent coming out of the phone booth as Superman. The 2-2 from Maggie, that one fouled back to the screen. Count hangs on, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Boston scored 3 in the top of the first. LA answered back with 4 in the bottom. Boston took the lead in the top of the second. And the Queens answered back with 1 in the third. It's been a back and forth ball game. It's kind of dizzying when you think about it. Here comes the 2-2. That one just off the outside corner. Hastings had a notion held up, and the count now runs full on Lexi Hastings.
The middle innings were a little bit quiet. It was loud in the beginning, and then we're seeing more here in the late innings as well. So we're kind of bookending this with the offense.
Meidlinger gets the sign. Here's the payoff pitch. That one fouled off left side. The count will remain full on Lexi Hastings. For the Hunters in the top of the 5th, they got that tying run, or that go-ahead run, I should say, on a single from Allie Schroeder, who has gone 3 for 3 in today's ball game. That one, 2 hops, came up nicely for Shimano over to first in time to get Hastings, who I can't imagine trying to get her on a 60-foot softball field batting from the left side. You talk impossible. Lexi Hastings steaming down the line. It's no wonder.
She gets out of the box quickly. And you can see how close she made it over at first on a routine ground ball. Shimano read that hop well too, came up on her just a touch.
You love that hop though. That's a nice Sunday hop. First pitch coming to DeLea, taken for a strike outside corner, 0-1. DeLea 1 for 3, singled, as I mentioned, came in to score in the 5th. That was the go-ahead run at the time for the Hunters. The Queens scored 3 in the bottom of the 6th and now lead it 8-6. That pitch, beautiful curve from Meidlinger, snuck in, backdoor over the outside corner, and now she's ahead of DeLea. No balls and 2 strikes. Maggie, game face mode, way ahead. Here comes the 0-2. That one taken over the outside corner for strike 3 called. And Maggie will pick up a save here as the Queens win it 8-6. It was back and forth throughout. The Queens put up that 3 spot in the bottom of the 6th inning, and the Hunters could not answer. And 8-6 is your final.
They had a few days in between from that Sunday matchup. It was the first win for the Hunters against a team not named the New York Heights, but the Queens fought back here today to get that 8-6 victory, and they did it on all sides of the ball. Clean defense, I think, was big in this one, but then you had 4 different arms you have come in. They're effective in their outings, and then, of course, hitting and the timeliness of those hits to get those 8 runs on 8 hits.
The timeliness, and you mentioned the clean defense. What we saw from Shimano at shortstop, particularly in the last inning, excellent. Bella Villarreal at left, covering a lot of ground. Ashton Lansdell in the first, making the play on the ball that was hit to the fence by Hastings. Over and over and over again, they answered the bell. So it was, for both teams, certainly a joy to watch this display of baseball. And you think about some of the lopsided scores that we had early in the season. These teams are all coming back to earth, and now we're getting these heavyweight matches where it's like teams are winning rounds, and at the end you say, all right, who went ahead on the final card? And that's where we are tonight.
It's been so fun to watch. Players evolve throughout the season as well, and tonight's Dick's Sporting Goods Player of the Game is Isabella Villarreal. She went 2 for 3 tonight, able to get on base multiple times this evening, a couple of singles in her back pocket, helping out with this team on the bottom part of the order in that 8th spot offensively. Got on 3 times, but then an inning of scoreless relief. The defense stepping up when they needed it, gets them out of the jam. So doing it on both sides of the ball, on the mound and in the box.
And what do you know? Bella vultured a win in today's game as well. She came in, they scored 3 on her behalf, and next thing you know, she's the winning pitcher of the game. And so I guess we have our Dick's Sporting Goods player of the game and our winning pitcher live with our very own AJ Andrews. AJ, it's up to you.
Thank you, guys. Yes, with the player of the game, Isabella Villarreal. Isabella, you were 2 for 3. You came in through in a scoreless inning. Your mentality coming into the game, you always have this strong mentality. What were you telling yourself when you stepped in the box and when you got on the mound?
Stepping in the box, I just wanted to hit, not only for me, but for my team. We needed a win, so, I just wanted to come in, hit for them. That last strikeout, I can do better. That's not going to be my first, and it's, yeah.
I sure do know. Watching you, you have the composure, but you guys lost to the Hunters on Sunday. What was EY's message to you, manager EY, coming out to today, knowing you were going to face them again?
Girl, he was giving us a big speech before the game. It was very inspirational, funny, and very serious at the same time. He's such a good coach, and I think that had transferred into today, and he just told us that we just need to start winning, and we need to start hyping each other up. We need to be positive, like, for one another and to one another to keep the energy going. So, yeah.
Okay, keeping the energy going. You guys are now tied with the Firebells for that #1 spot. What do the Queens have to do to take the crown to make sure they're on top by yourself?
Keep winning, keep grinding, and just show everybody that we're coming for them.
Does the mentality change, or does the work change, knowing that you are now at #1, or does it stay the same?
I would say it needs to change a little bit higher. It needs to go higher than what we have it right now because, we're a good team and we could be better. So, yeah.
How are you going to do that?
Girl, we're going to go out there and play hard. Come on. You know.
Isabella, I sure do know. It's a player of the game. She's a 2-time player of the game. She came out here, she said, AJ again? I said, I'm sorry you're so good, Isabella. Thank you for being the player of the game, putting on the show. We're excited to see how the Queens continue to wear the crown.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Thank you, AJ. And Jenna, our 2-time player of the game. Have we had another one who's been 2-time player of the game yet?
We got to double check. It's been a mix.
I will say, having watched all the games, I don't know that has been the case. But congratulations to Bella. And if there was ever anything that I was going to say was worth taking a semester off of school, it's this. You always do school later. Be a professional baseball player now. For AJ Andrews, Jenna Becerra, and our entire crew, I'm Lauren Fox. It is the Queens 8 and the Hunters 6. Have a wonderful evening, everybody.